Hi students, it's activities section from your book The Lost World, chapter number 3. Reading Comprehension. Put the following events in order which they happened. Write 1 to 6 in the boxes. It means we are going to write the sequence of these statements A to F. A. The professor asked the audience for volunteers to go on a mission to South America. B. Members of the audience began to boo Professor Challenger. C. Professor Summerlee, Lord Croxton, and Edward Mellon arrived in Manuel's. D. Edward and McCordell went to the Zoologist Institute Hall. E. The men set off on their voyage on a steamship called the Esmeralda. F. Edward Mellon volunteered to go on the trip. These are the events, and we have to give a sequence to these events. Now look at the statements and their sequence. Number 1 is Edward and McCordell went to the Zoologist Institute Hall. It happened first. Secondly, members of the audience began to boo Professor Challenger. Then what happened? A. The professor asked the audience to volunteers to go on a mission to South America. And what happened at number 4? F statement. Edward Mellon volunteered to go on the trip. And then Professor Summerlee, Lord Croxton, and Edward Mellon arrived in Manos. And lastly, what happened? The men set off on their voyage on a steamship called the Esmeralda. It is the correct sequence of these events. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If we are going to write these events sequence wise, it will become the summary or main points of chapter number 3. And students, now it's your task to rearrange these words and make the points of chapter number 3. And it's your solved exercise number 1 from the novel The Lost World.
Then activity number 2. Read the sentences and decide if they are true or false. Write T or F in the boxes. First one. McCordell was surprised when Edward said he believed Professor Challenger's story. Yes, it's a true statement because his mouth was opened after listening to the statements of Edward. Number 2, Professor Challenger introduced Duke of Durham and asked him to come on stage. No, it's not correct. It's false because Duke of Durham introduced Professor Challenger. So we are going to write F in the box. F stands for false. Statement number 3, Challenger became angry when the chairman of the institute called him a liar. Yes, it's a true statement because his face was red at that moment. Statement number 4, Edward Mellon was thinking about Gladys when he volunteered to go on the mission. It's a true statement. We are going to write here T for true because he was thinking about Gladys at that moment. Number 5, Lord John had often travelled to South America and knew many of the languages spoken in the area. It's also a true statement because he had confessed it. If we are going to learn or read the chapter again, we will come to know that he had confessed. He had described it. And the last one, a total of 8 men boarded to Esmeralda on the first stage of their journey down the river. Were they total 8 men? No, they were 4 men, and it's a false statement, and we are going to write F in the box. Okay, these are the correct answers of exercise number 2.
Next one is exercise number 3 on vocabulary building. Choose the correct word. First one is Tom was very ill yesterday, so I don't expect or exist that he will be at school today. Now we have to keep in our mind the context in this situation. The correct answer is expect. It means Tom was very ill yesterday. So I don't expect, I was not anticipating that he will be at school today. So the correct option is expect, not exist. Because if we are going to consult the dictionary and we are going to know the meanings of these words, then we will come to know that the expect is the correct answer. Expect means to predict something, to anticipate something, to suppose. Okay. Then the next statement, number 2. Barbara looked at me thoughtfully, safely, before answering my question. Okay, Barbara is a name, is a subject. Looked at me. Okay. Thoughtfully or safely. Safely is incorrect in this context, and thoughtfully is correct answer. So we are going to take thoughtfully. Number 3, the public decided, or the chairman decided to stop the meeting because everybody in the room was shouting instead of talking. Okay, who is the authority? We have to keep in our mind that it's not the authority of public. Chairman, it's the authority of a chairman. Okay, the chairman decided to stop the meeting. Public never decide to stop the meeting. So the chairman decided to stop the meeting. Next one, number 4. Please take a seat, Mr. Summers, and the doctor will be with you suddenly or shortly. Suddenly is not correct here. Shortly. Shortly means within 10 minutes or within 20 minutes. So the correct answer is shortly. Number 5, the scientist is convinced that his team will prove their claims or include their claims about the existence of life on the other planets. Okay, claims are always to be proved. So prove in this context is the correct answer. Next one, would you please volunteer that my table has been booked for 8 o'clock this evening. Would you please confirm? Okay, it's a question. Would you please, no volunteer. We are going to use would you please confirm that my table has been booked for 8 o'clock. Okay, the correct answer in this context is not volunteer. It's confirm. Next exercise number 4. Match the 2 columns to make expressions. Okay. Now we are going to match these columns to make expressions. Get to the point. Okay. We use get to with the point. So we have matched get to with the point. Jump to my feet. Tell the truth. These are the correct phrases. Then shake my head and be eager to. These are very easy and simple phrases. You can do it easily, but I have told you the correct answers to these phrases. And next exercise is follow-up activities. There are 4 questions, not 5. And what you have to do, you will discuss these questions and then you will write the answers. Do you think that Edward was right to believe Challenger? Would you? Why? Why not? Okay, you will read these questions and you will answer these questions by yourself, and your opinion and your own statements will be written.
The next one is many people attended the professor's talk at the Zoological Institute. Have you ever been to a talk or a scientific presentation? In the very first part of this sentence, you will describe either you have attended such type of scientific presentation or not. You will describe your personal experience. Would you like to? And you will also describe in detail with logical reasoning and with logical explanations either you like it or not. And in the last part of the question, what would you like to learn more about? In the answer, you will write your interests in learning, means what do you want to learn. Then activity number 6. Imagine that you are Edward Mellon. Write a letter to Gladys describing your voyage to South America, including information about your traveling companions. And your letter should be between 100 to 120 words.